Hey, am I live? It's all in the routine. And I had a really great conversation with a few ladies, I think it was last week. And it was really interesting because we are in such uncertain times and trying to kind of find our way around. And, we've got a school week starting next week for us here in Queensland. For other people, you've already started, and trying to find new routines around that. For many of us, we are working from home. Lots of people already work from home, but now having to work from home with kids at home puts a whole new level of stress into it. And then there's people who are now learning to work from home and how to do everything remotely that never once had to do that before. So there's so much change, and, as creatures of habit, we're not necessarily that great at change. And so I don't have all the answers. And, I have been talking to lots of people and, trying to figure out ways to make all of this work. It'd be great if we could just create, an extra 8 hours in the day. But we can't do that. And, so it's different for everybody. And I know for me, trying to find the way to work with my kids at home just does not work for me. Whenever you know what it's like when you am I still going? Low network. I think I'm still recording. I'm going to keep going because it still looks like it's happening. When you go to make a phone call, isn't it a classic that, all of a sudden some catastrophe happens, or some little person desperately needs to have a conversation with you or something just because you've picked up the phone? And so for me, the solution for me is to separate the two. And, it certainly means that I'm not probably going to get as much, I'm not going to get as much work done. There's just not that many hours available in the week between, my husband's roster and, where my mum can help out and all that sort of stuff. And so it's finding a new routine. It's learning to work smarter and not waste so much time fluffing about, really. But also, I think the other thing that for many of us, we can really implement to help us get through all of this is our own little routines, the things that help to fill us up. And, that's different for everybody too, but finding those things that were part of your routine that you can still do to keep yourself, in good energy, in a good mindset, in good spirits, and help you deal with all the extra stresses. And for me, a big one is my morning routine. And, I get up early. I make sure that I wake up before everybody else gets up. And no, I don't always feel like doing that. But I find that when I do and I make it a discipline, that my day runs so much smoother. I start the day with some meditation, I do some self-clearing, I do some exercise. Now I'm also doing a bit of work before the kids are up so that I can, get started on that while I'm, not interrupted. And, so that for me helps me to kind of just make everything else run a bit smoother. And so for you, it might be, going for a walk, whether it's in the morning or the afternoon, and, finding those little things that you can still do for yourself in amongst all the busyness of everything else to really keep yourself in a good frame of mind, in a good energy, in a good vibration. And by doing that, it means that you're able to cope with stress better. And, haven't we got, a lot of that at the moment? So I hope that can, give you a little bit of food for thought on what it is that those things are for you. And, if you're catching the replay, pop it in the comments. What is it for you that is going to help you get through this crazy, for want of a better word, period of time? And, share this with your friends. We really need to support each other through this, especially as, working mums who have now got our children at home 24/7 and learning to cope with that. So, and if you've got any amazing, tips for people on how to work around your kids, then I'd love to hear those too. So that's it from me today. And enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Always look for the positives in things. We could just get really sucked down in the hole at the moment with all the things that are going wrong, all the freedoms that we're losing, all the choices that we're losing. And, it could just look like a really horrible situation and a terrible time. But there is always a learning, there is always opportunity, and there's always a silver lining when you want to look for it. So I encourage you to look for the silver linings and look for what it is that you're meant to be learning in this. Is it that you're meant to be learning to slow down? Is it that you have to learn to improve your relationships? And I know that's a big one for me, is, learning to really communicate better with my children, because we're in each other's faces now all the time. And so, stuff comes up and you can't just, run away from it. So there is lots of opportunity. Have a magical rest of your day. Ciao for now.